Well, there's more disruption in the ranks. If we don't nip it in the bud soon, it could completely derail our season. Hey guys, and welcome to episode 7 of One Team, One Dream, Into the Woods. My name is James, and on today's episode, we have a huge match in the National League as we face top of the table Wrexham as first plays second, followed by a top versus bottom match as we face relegation threatened Dagenham and Redbridge. Since you're last with me, I kind of wish I'd never left. Yeah, that happened. I don't really know what else to say about it, if I'm honest. It was a terrible match. We were still able to score. Kings Lynn were more clinical than we were. We didn't play very well. I'm actually amazed we even managed to score the 3 goals that we did. I think they were more luck than judgment. However, disruption has continued further. I think that was part of that. If we go on to dynamics and happiness, there's now becoming a slight air of unhappiness around the squad. It's only a little bit here and there, but in between the 2 episodes, I had a second meeting with an additional 4 or 5 players around Reece Brown and his want to be playing more first team football. This time it was actually our team leaders, Ricketts and Champion, plus a couple of other players who weren't as content with my statement of I'd have to drop one of their teammates to include Reece Brown. I don't really understand where this is coming from. If we look at Kane Smith, who is the current right back, he's playing very well. He's also far superior to Reece Brown. I get that Brown should be obviously playing a little bit of football. I would say play him in cup matches, but we're out of both of those. So maybe I do play him a little bit, but I'm kind of holding fast with this at the moment, seeing if we can ride this out. But it has done catastrophical damage to our club atmosphere. I mean, the run of form doesn't help either. That's probably starting to meld in together where they're kind of one and the same. The poor form and the poor morale. We've got obviously Reece Brown is unhappy and is pushing unhappiness around the club. I need to get him out of the club as quickly as possible because he is starting to pull us apart from the inside. And so we need to hope that we can kind of get through this and ride this out before it starts to do too much damage to our chances of being in the playoffs this season. One thing I did do was we had a team meeting after the last match. I think that whether it's a paper over the cracks or whether it's a kind of a little bit of a boost to the morale, but it seemed to solve a few issues when it came to negativity around the club. I think that's the only reason that this isn't further into the red at the moment when it comes to the club atmosphere. But I think the most important thing for us to be able to do is going to be trying to get a win, trying to get back a little bit of form, and I think that will definitely heal a few wounds. So, getting into the first match of today's episode against Wrexham, huge top of the table clash. This is the team that is going to be facing them today. We have Ashmore in goal, Femi, Fifield, Tricker and Smith as the back 4. However, one thing I have noticed is Fifield and Tricker have also started to develop a poor partnership. It seems that we can actually find a pair of defenders that like playing together. So these are going to be playing together for the time being. It may be that we swap Fifield out and maybe bring in Champion and Tricker and see how they get on. But unfortunately, Champion is injured along with a few others. This hopefully is not an issue that's going to continue because we have Champion out, we have Shihab out, who is our backup defender. So we have Dave Stevens on the bench for his first bench appearance of the season. Reece Brown is also injured, less of an issue there. But McKinnon is also injured. I did actually ask for him to have injections, and now, ironically enough, I'm not using him. I forgot we had Ricky Fagan. So Ricky Fagan is going to make his first appearance on the bench as well today. Another exciting prospect who's very much playing well at the moment in the under-18s. In midfield, we have McDonnell and Ricketts as usual. Thomas and Whiteley are the wingers, with Colehurst and Shamanga up front. Shamanga being another of the dilemmas that I'm working with at the moment. Trying to figure out, do we keep him? Do we sell him? With McKinnon having been on the bench for a little while, I'm kind of happy to keep him at the club. I'm not necessarily going to push him. But if we do start to see interest from other clubs from him, I might maybe offer him out a little bit, see if we can make some money from him. I'd rather he made money from him now than we get leave for free in the summer. And knowing we have some good strikers that we can kind of, or developing strikers that we can bring in that can do a good job. I'm going to say, point the finger, come on lads, show me what you can do. Let's go out there, let's try and build some momentum, let's try and create some positivity back inside the club. I thought we were doing really well at the start of the season. I thought there was lots of positivity, we had some really good results. In the last couple of weeks, even the last 2 weeks, we've derailed slightly and things seem to be going slightly downhill. But Wrexham have a free kick here, whipped into the box, managed to be cleared by Davis, now to Whiteley. Whiteley looking to bring the ball forward, doesn't really have anybody in front of him, but still managed to find Colehurst, though the defender manages to tackle him, and we look to bring it forward again. Smith to Shimanga's come back to collect the ball. Whiteley now with a second opportunity to try and bring it forward. This time to Colehurst, finds Colehurst this time. What was that? I think that hit the post, hit the crossbar, and then came back out again. What a shame for Colehurst. I mean, you don't think he'd done anything else there without actually scoring. Throw in now to Wrexham. Horsfield has the ball, the original throw-in taker. Hooks it forward. Smith, though, again, another big clearance to Pearson. It is back and forth at the moment. Femi with the ball now. Another big clearance forward. Loses the ball again. Thomas this time takes it to ground. Looks to try and bring it forward, but he is being surrounded by a few players, so has to go back again. Another big ball forward. Whiteley this time out wide on the right. Into the centre to Colehurst, and this time there is no mistake. Colehurst puts it in for his 25th goal of the season and puts us 1-0 up against Wrexham. For the first 20 minutes, this has been very kind of back and forth, very, I'd say, uneasy, I think, from both sides. Both sides a little bit nervous. Again, your typical top of the table clash. Neither team really wants to make a mistake, and neither team wants to go behind. But Wrexham have gone behind, and we are now 1-0 up. 41 minutes on the clock, and Ashmore with the ball. Hopefully it's another positive highlight for us. He puts the ball forward and manages to find Shimanga. Now to Ricketts. Ricketts with giving a little bit of space, taking his time. Manages to find Whiteley. Whiteley, can he put the cross in again for Colehurst? Colehurst for his second. Almost a replica of the first goal. Ricketts with a great pass, waiting for the opportunity. Puts it out wide to Whiteley. There we go. Ricketts with the ball here. Looking for the opportunity. Sees Whiteley out wide. Whiteley again with a whip across into the centre, looking for Colehurst. Defender's got nowhere near it. Colehurst, who is at the moment is scoring almost every game at the moment, it feels like, and is really dominant as one of the front two, and takes us into half-time, 2-0 up. I say it was a bit of a balanced, bit of an uneasy first half, but we have actually, I mean, not necessarily in terms of possession, but in terms of opportunities, we have given Wrexham nothing at all in that first half, and we have taken the opportunities we have that have been presented to us, and the XG story definitely showcases that as well. I mean, how do I play this? I'm going to point the finger. Don't get complacent. Excellent. That was going to be a massive risk, whether that was positive or not, but they've taken motivation out of that. That's really, really good. I think complacency is definitely something that has slipped in as well in the last couple of games, and if we can get a statement win against Wrexham, it's going to provide us with massive, massive momentum. We have a free kick here. And now the ball out with Ricketts. Back out to Smith. We know he can put in a good assist. Into the centre, Colehurst for his hat-trick. I'm definitely going to look at how many hat-tricks this guy has scored this season, because it's definitely been a few. The ball out wide to Smith. Smith chips it into the centre to Colehurst. Colehurst loses his man again. He has had the central defenders for Wrexham in his back pocket for this entire game. And definitely puts us into cruising mode now, going into the last half hour of this game. But Wrexham do have the ball here. They could easily try and find a what could be a goal to get them back into this match, but Ashmore collects the ball to Shimanga. Shimanga to McDonnell. McDonnell looks to bring it forward. Poor pass though. Can only find a Wrexham player. Ball is now with Gilmore. Chipped out wide to Davis, who was in a little bit of space, but he managed to find Smith. To Whiteley who had the first assist. Now to Shimanga. Shimanga has been all over the field. He's not scored yet in this game, but he has been very much a creative force at the front of the pitch. Thomas Can't get the cross in, unfortunately. And this highlight is going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And I can only see it going one way at this point. And it's going to be a Wrexham goal. It is one of your quintessential. This highlight has gone on too long. Driven in the centre. Phillips there with the goal. It was going to happen. When a highlight goes on for that long, it's only going to end in an opposition scoring. And Wrexham have got a goal back. We want to nip this in the bud very, very quickly. Drian, I think it's Drian, not Driven. Drian with the ball into the centre. Phillips with an easy goal there. I don't want to see it a third time, thank you very much. I think we might make some substitutions. This is probably some tired legs setting in, and it is. We've got very much some tired legs, especially in the centre. McDonald there. Let's bring on Adebayi, a youngster, to better provide some injection there. And Thomas is having another... Thomas, I'm not sure what is wrong with Thomas at the moment. He is so up and down. He seems to be able to play so well when he is playing in the attacking right midfielder role, but when he's got 8 crossing, but can't play well when he's on the other side. I don't really understand what the problem is with him. But I mean, he is. If we look at his report, it does say. I think it says, inconsistent performer. So maybe that's something we just have to put up with. But he is too good a player for me not to be playing him. Right, Leighton for Wrexham with the goal kick. Tricker manages to find the header, but only as far as Davis. Davis looks to bring it forward. This is worrying now. Phillips in the penalty area with the ball to Drian this time, trying to set up his colleague who assisted him in the first goal. Luckily, we managed to clear it that time. It doesn't come to anything. Right, Wrexham with another throw-in with Drian. We managed to clear it. Unfortunately, there's no one forward for us, so Horsfield manages to collect the loose ball. Looking to bring it forward again, now with Harris. Harris whips it into the centre, at the back post. That is 3-2 now. We are falling apart in this second half. And we need to stop this immediately, because for how good we were in that first half, we have been awful in the second half. I think we need to make another substitution. We need to, look at the 6.5s in the centre for the fact that we were 3-0 up at half time. Our ratings have plummeted. Ashmore's having a terrible game. I presume he's probably at mistake. He's probably maybe at error for a couple of these as well. What do we do here? We don't really have anybody on the bench. Let's take Shamanga off. Let's bring Fegan on. Hopefully we can try and push forward and see if we can try and get another goal. That's the only thing I can think of to do at the moment. Right, we've gone positive. I demanded more from them. Ashmore now has the goal kick. Can he improve his rating? He puts the ball forward for Watson. Watson is not wise to it though, unfortunately, and Wrexham have now got the ball again, and they're going to bring it forward, and they are going to equalise here. It's going to be disgusting. Ashmore is being benched for the next match. That was all his mistake. What is going on here? And we have time is ticking down. That is it. I've said it too many times this season, but that result was disgusting. We fell apart in that second half. Coming into half time, Wrexham weren't even in this. We were dominant, we were controlling the match. And we fell apart in that second half. And allowed them to walk back in. Because you know what? They did not have to they didn't have to break a sweat in that second half. But it's unlucky, is that true? I'm not pleased. I'm glad it's motivated them. Thomas is wound up because he's so inconsistent at the moment. It's ridiculous. I never thought I didn't think I'd be looking at this player of the match performance and telling him that he was superb in front of goal and we didn't get the win. This is starting to become worrying. And this is the incredible bit. If we'd have won or even drawn the last 2 games, if we'd have been on a slightly more positive run, a 3-3 home at Wrexham, I'd have taken that. Because do you know what? It doesn't really damage either of our opportunities. It doesn't damage either of our promotion chances. And both teams being at the top of the table, I maybe expect a draw. But in the manner in which we conceded, one thing is Ashmore's going to get a fine. Whether I said it quite, snap decision at the time. Whether I bench him or not, I think I don't want to maybe be that rash. But at the very least, I'm going to make him know that he was so poor and at fault for a couple of those goals. Right. Let's try and retrieve some pride and hopefully dominate a struggling Dagenham and Redbridge. So it's only been a couple of days. We've had a little bit of news. If we go into transfers, so Reece Brown, I offered Reece Brown out. We've had a couple of clubs come in, offering roughly around his value. He's only valued about 2k. But really and truly, getting him off the books is going to be the priority. So both Scunthorpe and Northampton have come in for him. Also gets £800 off of the wage budget as well if he does go. My worry is he's going to reject both contracts just to spite us, which is something that I could see him doing. One other thing I have noticed as well, I had a couple of talks with some of the players that played poorly in the last match. There's a little bit of attitude around the club. Ashmore was giving me attitude, saying, I'm busy, I hope this is worth my while. Ricketts wasn't very happy that I told him that he wasn't playing very well, even though he hasn't put in a good performance in the last 3 or 4 matches. It's worrying that there's this much attitude around the club, and it's probably where a lot of the negativity is coming from. But hopefully we can navigate that, even if it's just getting through our first season, and more than likely we'll probably see a few changes in the summer if a lot of this player uprising issues become more prevalent. So this is the team that is going to face Dagenham and Redbridge today. It's a little bit of a change side. So we have Huddard in goal. I've dropped Ashmore just for this game. I want to kind of give him a little bit of time to be able to kind of mull things over, and I think we should be able to win against Dagenham and Redbridge without our full strength side. So we have Huddard in goal, Femi, Fifield, Tricker and Smith as the back four. Adebayi comes in for Ricketts in central midfield, with McDonald moving across to the ball-winning midfielder role. Whiteley and Thomas as the wingers, with Colehurst and Shamanga up front. And Fifield takes the captaincy band from Ricketts for this game. One other thing I did offer Shamanga out, without transfer listing him. I literally just offered him out. There wasn't any interest in at the moment, so it appears that we may be keeping him for the second half of the season. And what I'm hoping is going to happen, if there is no interest, no one's really going to come in for him in terms of trying to get a pre-contract. So hopefully we'll have through until the summer, and then he'll be if we have done really well, he'll be in more of a promising position for us to be able to try and get a more reasonable contract out of him. Let's pump this and say, let's give the fans something to cheer today. Those that have made the trip to Dagenham for this match will be looking for a improved performance compared with the second half of the match against Wrexham. And we have the ball here with Shamanga chipped to the centre, trying to find Colehurst. Unfortunately, it sails over the top of his head. Now to Femi. Back in the centre. Shamanga hits the crossbar. That is the closest Shamanga has come in the last couple of games to scoring. Hopefully he manages to get at least one in this game. Adebayi now. Femi with the ball again. Unfortunately can't beat the first man. And Wrexham now have the throw-in. Bernard with the ball to Deering. Back to Bernard, who's been given a little bit of space. Manages to find McCallum. Now to Bundle. Back to Bernard again. Back into Bundle. Now to Bernard. Passing it nicely between the two of them. Trying to find a little bit of space. We are pressing them quite well, though. Hopefully we can kind of keep them at bay. But they managed to find a little bit of space, though. Deering with the ball now. To Finney. Back out wide to Bernardo again. Bernard again. Bundle from range. Brilliant save by Huddard. Femi with the throw-in to Whiteley. Whiteley unfortunately loses the ball out to the defender, but Fifield manages to collect the loose ball. Tries to chip it into the centre. Unfortunately, his distribution isn't great, and Dagenham and Redbridge managed to win the ball back. Deering is now in space. He was almost one-on-one with the goalkeeper there. Has a few men in front of him. Tries to go for glory from range, and is well wide of the goal. Right, demanded some more from the players coming into the last couple of minutes of this match. We've not seen a single shot on target. I mean, Shamanga hit the crossbar. Obviously, that doesn't class as being on target. But apart from that, it has been a very, very uninspired first half. It says we're not doing. We are doing poorly though. I'm going to point the finger. Not happy. We are playing poorly. I don't know what standard my assistant has in terms of what he's expecting, but to me, that is not a we've not done badly. That's a we're lucky to not be behind. But Femi has the throw in here now with Colehurst. Whipped into the centre, trying to find Shamanga. Unfortunately can't. Has a second attempt though to chip it back in the centre. Shamanga, who goes over the top. Why Colehurst is the one out wide putting the cross in when he has Whiteley out on that left hand side, I'll never know. But even in this second half, we've had 15 minutes so far, and we have done far better when it comes to opportunities. Maybe Dagenham have dropped off a little bit. McDonald with the ball to Tricker. Goes out wide to Smith. Smith, we know we can put it on a dime. Whips in the centre to Colehurst. Colehurst with a beautiful header. Showing Shamanga how it's done. That was a beautiful cross and a beautiful header from the two guys there. McDonald with the ball to Tricker. Puts it out wide to Smith. I knew straight away he was going to be able to put it on Colehurst's head. Colehurst just drifts away from his man and beautifully guides it into the opposite corner. Everyone was driven one way and he guided it the other, and that puts us 1-0 up. On 70 minutes, I think we're going to make a substitution. Thomas is again having a poor match, so we'll bring on Watson. I think we'll swap them over as well because Whiteley does definitely play better on that right-hand side. Dagenham have a corner. Fifield manages to clear it, but only out to the original corner taker. Chipped in the centre again. The header there. Wilson with the header. Huddar does really poorly. I mean, it's difficult because it's headed at the floor, but you'd hope that Huddar would have better get a stronger head to that. But we can't exactly. Our defenders are definitely at blame there as well. Deering has a second opportunity. Chips it into the centre. And McDonald is supposed to be marking Wilson. I'm not sure if it's because he's on a booking. He doesn't want to risk causing a foul, but that was very, very poor. I mean, Tricker is on a 6.3. Right, we're going to bring Stevens on for his first appearance on an episode. We really have got some poor performances here. I mean, I think I'm going to have to bring on Angol. Shamanga's also playing poorly. It's difficult to know at the moment whether it's the tactic, whether it's the team morale. Let me know down in the comments if you have any advice, what you think is actually causing all this problem. Is it the tactic? Is it the instructions I'm giving them? Is it the morale? Is it just the morale is just so poor at the moment that it's hampering our performances? But we seem to be only performing poorly in the second half. Maybe it's a tiredness thing, but not enough of the players are red in terms of their heart for me to justify it being a poor energy levels. But Watson has the ball now to Angol from the goal kick. Fifield tries to put it forward. This time manages to find a Boreham player in terms of Whiteley. Whiteley now out on the right hand side, trips in the centre, tries to find a man. Unfortunately, Dagenham manages to clear, and this is worrying. Dagenham counter attacking with McCallum. McCallum is being closed down though, but still manages to chip it in the centre. Luckily, he's offside because it makes sense there was no one near him because he was offside. But too easily, McCallum was allowed to put that cross in. Stevens just stood there and watched him. We are on thin ice at the moment. I'm going to go attacking. I'm going to demand more when I get the opportunity as well. Coming into the last couple of minutes, let's demand more. This is going to be another draw, I think. A game where we should have won it. There's nothing more I can really say about that until I manage to work out what the problem is. And again, he says, unlucky boys, it wasn't our day. That's not good enough. It's not good enough. Frustration. Thy name is Football Manager. Right, I think the best thing to do there is we'll move swiftly on. So let's find out when we're going to come back next, hopefully with a more positive episode. I think I'll go through most of February, and we'll come back for Dover and Stockport, I think, at the back end of February. We'll have two episodes in quick succession there because in March we have a huge episode, Sutton and Bromley, both of which are rivalries for Boreham Wood, and so that's going to be a huge episode, not necessarily in the grand scheme of the table, but I think in terms of fan pride. So that will be a big match, followed by I think the Barnet reverse fixture in April, and then either Altrincham and Aldershot will obviously be either side of that. Right, we've got ticked over to the following day. Reece Brown is going to leave. He is going to Northampton Town. And we get £475 in the transfer budget. Let's jump forward one more spot. There we go. He has gone. Reece Brown is no longer a Boreham Wood player. Hopefully that rectifies some of the issues we're having with morale at the club. and the players have one less distraction and can hopefully focus on the second half of the season. Well, hopefully that's a positive to end on as we start the road to recovery for our morale. But if you did enjoy that video, please give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to hit the bell icon to be notified of brand new FM21 videos, including the finale of my Bournemouth save, the Cherries Travel Guide to the Championship, which will be out at 11 AM tomorrow, which is Saturday the 12th of December. And thank you very much for watching.